Hello, week 2 of the multiculturalism observations at Boys and Girls Club. The topic this week was race and racism, so let's jump right in. I have a small list of the things I noticed. One of the things that I noticed as soon as I got there, because when I get there it's usually recess and then we move into gym time, one of the things that I noticed was the grouping of the kids. And how diverse they were in their who they played with mostly. And then when we moved from outside to inside, there was a change. Outside they were less racially diverse. A lot of the white girls were playing with the white girls, a lot of the white boys were playing with the white boys, and then the ethnic students were kind of mixed in together. But when we went inside and we attended it was a hawk talk. They tended to sit almost every other, so there was a sort of racial breakup from outside to inside. I don't know if the kids were acknowledging that, or if they just did that out of habit, or if they had assigned seatings. The staff said they didn't have assigned seatings, but they may have assigned seatings in school. Another thing I noticed was bilingualism, and some of the students there, they're Pacific Asian Americans. They speak, I don't know if it's Korean or Vietnamese. They do speak it to each other. There's about 3 of them, and they speak it to each other. And they kind of shut that off when they talk to the teacher, and then they go back and talk to each other. It does not seem to offend the staff at all. The staff seems to be perfectly fine with it. But again, there was only there was a handful of Korean or Vietnamese students, and then there were 1 or 2 of Mexican American students, and one of the staff members actually spoke a little bit of Spanish and kind of just say conversational type stuff, nothing important, just like how are you doing, that kind of stuff. At the community level, I didn't observe any apparent racism. There didn't seem to be a real tiered higher than you, lower than you form of racism at the community level, but I did observe in one instance a kind of separation, and a little bit of internal racism when we moved from snack time, which again, snack time was a lot like when they were in the gym. They were they were mixed. When we moved into Power Hour, when we moved into Power Hour, there was a singular African American girl student who went and kind of sat by herself. She very clearly separated herself from the rest of the students. I observed that she was working on homework. I don't know if she just needed to be by herself to work on this homework, or if she felt a clear internal separation from the other students, felt some form of inferiority. She didn't seem to have a tough time at the community level working with other students, because she even came up to the staff and I and asked us questions, and asked actually for assistance on her homework, but she didn't seem to feel. It was only in that brief instant that I noticed any form of separation. After she was finished with her homework, she went and got an iPad to play a game on, and continued to sit with her by herself. And she sat on the other half of the room, while the other students were kind of mingling on the other half, and they were all working on homework as well. So that's all I noticed for this week on race and racism. very few and far between on anything relating to internalized oppression or clear and obvious oppression.